This module will provide a basic understanding of Schedule CFR 3, Agency Administration. Total agency administration costs for the provider agency are reported on a single CFR 3 schedule when completing a full CFR. The total of the agency administration costs should tie out to management and general expenses reported separately in those financial statements containing a statement of functional expenses. Please note, abbreviated CFR filers complete the agency administration worksheet in lieu of Schedule CFR 3. See slide 14. Agency administration consists of the costs associated with the overall direction of the agency, general record keeping and financial management, governing board activities, and public relations, excluding those costs associated with fundraising and special events. Please note that costs associated with fundraising and special events are reported on the CFR 2, line 7. This slide shows a screenshot of Schedule CFR 3. The CFR 3 is a 3-tab data entry screen. The first tab is Personal Services, Fringe Benefits, and OTPS. The second is Equipment and Property. And finally, a tab for the ratio value calculation. Slide number 4 shows the Personal Services, Fringe Benefits, and OTPS tab. Line 1, Total Personal Services, will populate automatically from the Agency Administration section of Schedule CFR 4. After entering each line item, click Save and select a different tab or Close to proceed. Any line item labeled with an asterisk will have a drop-down box where detail for the expense must be provided. Detail is required for individual items costing $1,000 or more. Individual items costing less than $1,000 may be grouped together on the predefined line item entitled All Items Less than $1,000 Each. The expense categories for Schedule CFR 3 are as follows: Personal Services from Schedule CFR 4, Vacation Leave Accruals, Fringe Benefits, other than Personal Services or OTPS, Equipment, Property, and Parent Agency Administration Allocation. Slide number 6 lists a couple of special line notations. Line 6 of Schedule CFR 3, entitled Audit Legal Accounting, should include the cost of other accounting services such as payroll services and CFR audit costs. Line 14 is where contracted personal services such as management consulting services and IT support are reported. Items with a cost in excess of $5,000 must be listed in the worksheet separately by description and amount. Items costing less than $5,000 each may be aggregated and listed as all items less than $5,000. Costs to develop internal use software during the application development stage are capitalized and not included on line 14. Refer to U.S. GAAP Codification of Accounting Standards, Topic 350-40, Internal Use Software, and Topic 350-50, Website Development Costs. The other lines are for those expenses that do not belong on any of our pre-designated lines on the CFR 3. The OTPS
and Equipment Property tab each have other lines for miscellaneous items. Information is entered through a line details box. Detail is required for individual items costing $1,000 or more. Individual items costing less than $1,000 may be grouped together as all items less than $1,000 each.
Non-allowable costs must also be considered when reporting agency administration expense. Line 41 is where adjustments and non-allowable costs are reported. Enter the description, line number, and amount of all non-allowable or non-reimbursable expenses reported in any line of the CFR 3 in the line details box. Refer to Appendix X for additional guidance on non-allowable costs. Report the amount in excess of actual cost or fair market value for all administrative related party transactions disclosed on the CFR 5. The amounts entered must be greater than or equal to 0. This slide shows the ratio value tab of the CFR 3. All data elements are populated by the software. All calculations are performed by the software. Calculated values are carried forward to CFR 1, CFR 2, and the DMH1. When all data has been entered for both tabs, click Save, Close, Go To, and then Go to proceed. This slide lists a few facts related to the ratio value allocation. The total corporate agency administration expenses are allocated to all agency funding sources using the ratio value method. The ratio value method uses operating costs of the program sites as the basis of the allocation. Operating costs are defined as personal services, vacation leave accruals, fringe benefits, and OTPS. Schedule CFR 3 uses a two-step process to allocate agency administration costs. The next two slides detail the two-step process involved in the ratio value calculation. Step 1 allocates total corporate agency administration expenses to each funding New York State agency. Operating costs for program codes 0880 and 0890 are excluded from this ratio value calculation. Step 2 performs a second allocation of the agency's administration expense to each of its programs. A list of the program codes excluded in the Step 2 calculation are listed below and can be found in Section 15.0 of the CFR manual. Expenses of these programs are not included as operating costs and therefore are exempt from an allocation of agency administration at the agency-wide level and within each state agency. While this calculation may seem complicated, the calculation is done for you automatically in the software. This is the Agency Administration Worksheet for abbreviated filers only. Lines 1 through 5 will populate automatically from the specific program costs entered on the DMH1. An entry must be made on line 6, Other Programs Total, if applicable. An entry must be made on line 9, Net Agency Administration. This is the total amount of all agency administration for the provider agency. Abbreviated filers do not have to break down agency administration costs by category and line item since they are not required to complete the CFR 3. Here are some final thoughts on agency administration. All agencies have agency administration expenses. Agency administration expenses need to be distributed to all activities fairly. Ratio value is the required method used to allocate agency administration expenses. Ratio value is based on operating costs. The amounts allocated may differ from the amounts allocated in your general ledger and financial statements. For more information on the CFR 3 schedule, please see Section 15.0 of the CFR manual. For more information on agency administration in general, please see Appendix I, which is Section 42.0 of the CFR manual. And finally, Please refer to Appendix T for more information on how to calculate agency administration on an abbreviated CFR.